So it's been a year since I've done a video, so I thought I'd do a new one and put it on YouTube for anyone who cares to look and show some of the changes and I think improvements that I've had or that I've done to our pig area and pig operation. That's just their mud holes, which they pretty much did themselves. I didn't really do those. I just add water. And the water comes from this hose here, which is rainwater from a rain tank. And we have a 1,100 gallon rain tank that collects water off the garage and is what basically is the source of this water, so I don't have to use any of my well water. Now last year I had the watering system that I had was basically a hose that ran directly from the rain tank up at the garage down to the pig pen, like 300 feet, and it fed these watering nipples that Captain Chunky is drinking out of right now, and it worked okay, but I had to keep the water on all the time, and the water got really hot from the hose being out in the sun. So I've made a big change. Now I have this rain barrel that I hooked up, and it collects water off of their little roof, which is a small roof obviously, but it will fill this rain tank up, you know, pretty quickly with a fairly small rain. And then as a backup, since it doesn't rain, you know, especially in the summer, it doesn't rain real frequently, I have this hose that I put up in there, and I can just run a hose from the big rain tank that I was just talking about. And so this rain tank down here is sort of behind this little fence area that was my loading chute last year, and I don't use it as a loading chute anymore, but it's convenient because it is able to keep the pigs out of, you know, away from the barrel, otherwise they'd knock it over. And it's sitting up on these really big you know, cement blocks that I happen to have laying around. So you can see that I got hoses running. It's a pretty simple setup, but it works quite well. And the other really big change that I made was I built this feeding trough, and the real motivation for building it is I'm going to the beach on vacation for a week next weekend, and I didn't want to have to pay someone to come here and feed them, so I decided I'd build this feed trough thing. And you can see it's full of like 150 pounds of feed right now, and I can load it from the back without having to go into the pen, and it seems to be working really well. They certainly eat it. See if it'll open it up. Yeah, see? And as they eat it, the stuff comes falling down, and it's up off out of the mud on these big 6x6 timbers that I had also kind of laying around. So I had to pay for all the wood that I built that with, but had some other stuff that I didn't have to pay for. Let's see if we can get a video without the pigs. The pigs are so curious that they just keep following me around. I try to avoid them getting me all muddy, because look, they're gonna come right up to me. What's up, guys? Stay away. Get away, dirty. So anyway, this is the pig trough, the feed. So it works pretty well so far. We'll have to see how it holds up in the rain is kind of my big concern. How long it'll last since it's made of wood. I painted it obviously, so that should help out. Yeah, it's just like an all-you-can-eat buffet for the pigs. It's been raining here recently, so it's quite muddy. So these pigs were born in like the beginning of March, I think, and it's now the beginning of June. So they're only 3 months old. And here's their sleeping quarters, nice and high and dry, up off the ground, out of the mud. Otherwise they'd be sleeping right in the mud. I mean, it's really been raining a lot recently, so you can see all the water in these areas that they've dug out, which they don't seem to mind. Isn't that right, pigs? You can tell how muddy they are. One problem that I had when I first built this was they would flip the lids up and the lids would stay up, you know, and so they wouldn't be covered from the rain or whatever. And so I put these little triangle shaped knobs there. So that doesn't happen. Then I built a little overhang, try to keep it dry a little bit, which doesn't help 100%, but so far so good. And they have it's probably about half an acre pen. Seems to be plenty of space for them. I think they have a good life. Alright, so figured while I'm out here, I might as well show the chicken operation too. Gotta walk through the garden. Got my potato plants there, my chicken catching net, more potatoes, got some tomatoes down there. But anyway, I'll show you the flock of chickens, which is something new this year. I bought 40 barred Plymouth Rock chickens, you know, day-old chicks, and I lost about 15 of them to an unknown predator, but then I eventually found and fixed the hole in the fence that had been coming through. So now I have like 25 chickens, and these are they're about 10 weeks old now. And then I have one chicken from my original set from a couple of years ago, and that's a leghorn chicken, and that's her over there. Anyway, I have like 25 of these chickens. My plan is to keep, you know, quite a few, about 6 or 7 hens probably, and one rooster, and so I can have some eggs and they can make little baby chickens. And then I'm going to be eating the rest of them, some of these big guys here. Give them a few more weeks, and then I'll be dispatching them and putting them in the freezer, and I'm definitely looking forward to that, although it will be the first time I've done that. So let's look in the chick coop. Oh, there we go, an egg. And my chicken feeding and watering system this year is much better than it was in previous years. I have this 5-gallon bucket with a lid on it and a couple of holes drilled in it, filled with water, and you basically just dump it over upside down into the pan, and it releases the water as the chickens drink it. And it's got a lid on there to keep debris and also the chickens out of it. And then basically the same thing with the feed system, except just drilled a few holes down in the bottom, I don't know if you can see that. And then the feed comes out as they need it, and it's got a nice lid on there, so, or you know, sort of a cover just to keep it clean, and it works. Keeps it dry even in the rain. So these chickens are doing good since I figured out they were being eaten, and I fixed that problem. They got plenty of room in there under these apple trees. These are all old apple trees, which haven't been that successful in getting any apples for me to eat off of, but I think the chickens are eating the bugs and maybe some of the apples, I don't know.